Deathstroke's hacker Hosen delivers a package to a congressman, who they just bribed into helping Matthew. When he checks the contents, the man jumps off his balcony. A rejuvenated Claw King has taken the despot Matthew Bland prisoner. He remarks that the tyrant's plan nearly succeeded, hiring Deathstroke to kill the Claw King by secretly financing a group of the villain's so-called victims, then having the mercenary first do Matthew's favors to help the American military out of the area was a pretty good idea. After this, Deathstroke would have killed the Claw King, and Matthew was planning on killing Deathstroke as well, closing out any loose ends. Only Slade double-crossed Matthew first. Wilson had that congressman killed just as quickly as he helped facilitate the bribe. And now, Matthew can only pray that the man he planned to kill will be able to save him in time. Meanwhile, Slade is surprised to see Wintergreen, who was thought dead. Wilson's old contact explains that a body double was impersonating him when he died. Together, the two men escape the caverns. They meet up with the men who helped smuggle Wilson into the rebel camp and head off to Matthew's palace. Wilson is forced to keep an experimental Deathstroke suit on and leaves his old one on a decoy body. With luck, people will assume Slade Wilson is dead. Later, while the Claw King continues taunting Matthew, Wintergreen appears. He explains to the Claw King that Deathstroke cannot allow Matthew to die, and that would destabilize the country. The Claw King doesn't care what they want, and attacks Wintergreen. In the past, Wintergreen once visited Deathstroke's home. The boys were getting annoyed with their parents constantly fighting, and doing other things. When it gets quiet, Grant says he's had enough and is leaving. After what must have been some overly aggressive sex, Adeline says she wants a divorce, which does not surprise Slade. Wintergreen interrupts and says it's time to go. When told Grant has run away, Adeline dismisses it, saying he does it every week. She wants to come along with Slade and Wintergreen, but they refuse, saying their mission is classified. She replies that's what makes it fun. In the present, Deathstroke leaps into the fray to save his old partner. The Claw King is knocked down and returned to his older age. Matthew is not pleased over Deathstroke, but, well, betrayal seems to run amok between these two. Slade makes one final demand. The families of his escorts are not to be touched, or the Deathstroke will return. This leaves Matthew in a great deal of trouble. With his political ally in the US dead, the American military will put an end to the despot's slaughter. Wintergreen comments that Wilson must have known all of this was going to play out this way from the start, and saw right through Matthew's plan. His contact is actually impressed that Wilson did all this work to stop a genocide and saved thousands of lives in the process. Wintergreen is still a little upset though. He kept sending out that distress word, Kenilworth, yet it took Wilson years to find him. Slade honestly didn't know Wintergreen was in trouble, so the contact does eventually calm down, and they begin talking about golf instead. Deathstroke is still 8 over par. Later, Matthew finds the decoy body of Deathstroke, wearing his old uniform. It seems that all this was an elaborate ploy by somebody to get Deathstroke to wear that prototype suit, built by a person named Dr. Icon. Matthew thinks that whoever arranged this must have really had something against Wilson, for them to go to such extravagant lengths to accomplish this. As for Matthew, his only concern is about how all of this will benefit him. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Deathstroke #1. So this was a great comic once again. It follows up nicely to the Rebirth issue, yet maintains everything great about the comic. The art remains on par with the previous issue, the story is still interesting, and the events in this issue unfolds quite uniquely, just like last time. I like how the flashbacks are being used to give Deathstroke's family some character. Grant clearly has more involvement in the story as it unfolds, but I hope Slade's ex-wife Adeline also has more in the future, because she also showed some intriguing colors this issue. Even Matthew, who could have been a disposable villain, has some depth to him and shouldn't be counted out of this story just yet. And as for Slade's character, it's still great. Like I said last time, I like morally gray characters in fiction. So yes, he's an abusive, violent murderer, but he also saved thousands of lives this issue. Make no mistake, he's still a bad guy, but he's not evil. He just has a very skewed sense of morality. Which is why I like the character, especially when it's written like this. He's not an anti-hero, he's not misunderstood, he's just a guy. A mercenary. Sometimes it might put him on the path where he can do something right, other times I just don't think he cares if he's doing the wrong thing or not. To him, it's all just part of the job and his code and honor. And that really works in my eyes. There's one other element about this story that is noteworthy, writer Christopher Priest's presence here. See, after I did my review of Deathstroke Rebirth #1, I stumbled on an interview with Priest about the comic. Turns out, Priest has been repeatedly offered titles to return to the world of superhero comics. He's been gone doing other stuff for a while, but up until now, he's always refused. Apparently, both Marvel and DC had in the past offered Priest comics featuring black characters, and this kind of irked him. As a black writer, Priest didn't want to be pigeonholed into writing only for black characters. It's just pretty understandable. So when DC finally offered him the Deathstroke series, he happily accepted. This, in my eyes, is a positive sign on the part of DC. It's exactly the sort of thing they should be going for, where the racial identity of the writer and artist and everyone else on the creative team is incidental. They should focus on giving writers and artists characters that they would be best suited for regardless of race, and it seems that's what they did here. So kudos to DC on this one. It's a great sign they're doing Rebirth right, something they've consistently shown with this soft reboot. Both behind the scenes and on page, Rebirth has not only really been a step in the right direction for the company, but has kind of made their comics great again. Not that they were terrible before, but now they feel polished, planned, and in the word of this story arc, professional. So far, Deathstroke is a promising comic that has me looking forward to what's coming next. I liked and would recommend this issue. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.
She grabbed her knife and smiled at